Vanilla Minecraft is great, however, it could definitely be improved. So today, using mods, texture packs, and data packs, I want to show off some features that improve vanilla Minecraft. We're going to start off looking at some texture packs, then move into some mods and some data packs at the end of the video. And I've managed to find some pretty cool data packs. Anyway, onto the texture packs, and the main one I use to improve Minecraft is Vanilla Tweaks. Just looking around here, almost all of these features are thanks to Vanilla Tweaks. And we'll start off over here with the variated textures. Vanilla Tweaks gives you access to have variated textures for almost all of the blocks, but I've used a couple of examples here. For example, we've got variated dirt, which I really like, with the massive rocks, and then some don't have any rocks. We've got variated bookshelves, some with emptier shelves, some with more colourful books. We've got variated planks, which just adds a little bit of variation across the blocks. We've got variated moss, which changes what moss looks like, so it's not all in a straight line. We've got the variated stones and variated cobblestone to just add extra detail whilst caving. Variated birch logs, which is pretty easy to see. So we've got a default one here, and then we've got two different types here. Variated red mushroom blocks, which gives variation to the amount of spots on each of these blocks. And finally, we have variated brick, which changes the colour of some of the bricks, which really helps for a massive industrial build. For example, I have a factory over here, and it really helps to add extra detail around it. As with just plain brick, it just doesn't look as good. Another really cool part of Vanilla Tweaks is the access to a load of different 3D textures. And for my resource pack, I've chosen 3 different types of 3D textures. We've got 3D ladders, which just makes ladders so much nicer. We've got 3D rails, which makes them stand out so much more. These work really well in the mineshaft. And the detector rails look so cool with like that 3D, whatever this thing's supposed to be. I guess the detector. And then we've also got a 3D stonecutter, which just makes the blade way cooler. Next up for Vanilla Tweaks, I've added fancier fences, which makes fences fancier. Is that even a word? Well anyway, it changes fences from their traditional sort of plank texture to more of like a strip log texture, and I think these really help with decoration and look much nicer for custom trees. And I build a lot of custom trees, so this is a very helpful part of the texture pack. Next up, I've updated moss carpet to have an overhang, as I think this just looks much better for decorating builds. For example, over here it looks so much nicer on my giant log piles, rather than just a normal, plain bit of carpet. And it doesn't just work on full blocks, it also works on blocks such as trapdoors, which adds a really cool effect for hanging shelves. Before I dive into the next part of the texture pack, I need to ask you to subscribe, as it is currently the end of March, and I'm on 6,000 subscribers, and I want to see how many subscribers I can have by the end of the year. So for that, I need your help. But the next part of Vanilla Tweaks I use is ashless campfires. I also use a bonus texture pack by Whip, which changes soul campfires to have a spruce log texture rather than the oak texture. Although ashless campfires is a very simple change, I'm a massive fan of it, and I almost can't play Minecraft without it now, as I build a lot with campfires, as having the ash beneath it just doesn't look very good, whereas that looks so much better. Next, I use the alternate bedrock texture, as regular bedrock is honestly one of the most ugly blocks in the game, and alternate bedrock just makes it look so much nicer. Next up, I've added changes to utility blocks, such as sticky pistons, dispensers, observers, and hoppers. First, we have sticky piston sides, which allows you to tell what type of piston it is from a side view. Next, we have directional dispensers, which shows you exactly which way it is facing, which is the same for the observers, and the same for the hoppers. Honestly, I think these are very useful features, as it definitely allows me to understand redstone just a little bit more, as I suck at redstone. Next, I've added circular logs, which, well, it adds circular logs. I mean, just look, these are so much better than the normal square log texture. Next, using Vanilla Tweaks, as well as another resource pack, Better Flame Particles, I've got a bunch of particle changes. For example, Vanilla Tweaks allows there to be these really cool particles around a level 30 enchantment table. Just look how much cooler they are. All of like the enchantment table language letters going into the enchantment book. That's just so cool. And I've also added a bunch of other particles. We've got different angry villager particles, different heart particles, and we've got better flame particles, which just make torches so much nicer. And this bubble popping one's actually thanks to a mod, which is the Make Bubbles Pop mod, which, well, it adds bubbles which pop into the game. If you've watched my channel before, I've mentioned this mod quite a few times, but I'm honestly such a fan of it. It just adds such a cool quality of life feature, which I'm a massive fan of. On to the next texture pack I use, which is sort of my own custom one, as it's a mix between Whip's flower textures and Better Vanilla Building's flower textures, as I have custom flower textures. Because default flowers in Minecraft just look so boring on their own, whereas this I add a ton of variation to flowers, which just makes decorating with flowers so much nicer. For example, here we've got variated lily of the valleys, variated tulips, dandelions, and poppies, and I've completely changed the allium texture, as the lollipop texture before looked awful. And just looking around my survival world, you can just see what I mean. These flowers look so much cooler than the regular, boring default ones. You may notice something really weird about this llama, as that's part of the next resource pack I'm going to show off to improve Minecraft. We've got the very popular Fresh Animations, which adds really cool animations to almost every mob inside of the game. This texture pack honestly just helps to give more life to the different mobs. Villagers look so much cooler now. Bees actually flap their wings more. Zombies actually lean over a little bit. Spiders move their legs a bit more. Parrots and chickens flap a bit more. And the grass has just more life to it. Also, just look how cool the fox is. Honestly, I'm a fan of a fox already, but with fresh animations, it looks so much cooler. It also gives so much more life to tamed wolves. For example, this is my little wolf on my hardcore world, and he can wag his tail, and he'll also occasionally lay down. See, fresh animations just makes mobs look so much nicer. But they were all the texture packs I would recommend using to improve Minecraft. Now, onto the mods. And I'll get the obvious one out of the way. Shaders, which really help to change the lighting and the look of your Minecraft worlds. And you've probably seen shaders a ton, so I really don't need to go into detail on why these should be used. But what I will say is they definitely help to improve Minecraft. My builds look so much cooler with shaders. Quickly, take a look at my Minecraft skin. What do you notice? And now take a look. What has changed? Well, it's the fact that I'm using the 3D skin layers mod, which helps to change the look of Minecraft skins. As now, I've got 3D ears, a 3D nose, and just 3D clothes. Whereas in default Minecraft, I don't have that, and it just doesn't look as good. But it doesn't just affect player skins, it also affects player heads. Although it's such a small change, I would definitely recommend using it. I only recently started using this next mod, but honestly, it just looks so good. And that is the waste mod, which adds custom splashes into the game. Which honestly just gives more life to Minecraft. Even dropping items into the water will now have a really cool splash effect. But it doesn't just stop there, as when I swim through the water, there will be a trail behind me, which also works with boats and rafts. Honestly, this mod is really cool, it just helps to add so much more life to Minecraft's waters. One thing I forgot to mention about all of these mods I'm showing off today is the fact that they are client-side, meaning that you can have it on any world or any server without causing damage to the world, and these really don't affect the gameplay of Minecraft. On to the next mod, which is in the sky, as I use the Better Clouds mod, which just makes clouds look so much better. Instead of having boring flat clouds, Better Clouds adds in 3D clouds, which just make the skies in Minecraft look so much nicer. And my favourite part of it is it keeps in the vanilla style, so it is still used to improve vanilla Minecraft. Just like this next and final mod I'm going to show off, as at the end we're going to be showing off some more data packs. This final mod is Eating Animations. Well, it basically animates food, but it looks so cool when doing so, as every type of food in the game now has a different animation when you're eating it. And one of my favourite ones to show off is the fish, as when you eat it, a little bone appears. This mod really helps to add detail, as well as improving vanilla Minecraft, just like these data packs do. And I use all of these data packs and more in my brand new survival series, so if that sounds interesting, make sure to check it out. And the first data pack I'm going to show off is Tectonic, which completely changes Minecraft's world generation. As I'm flying throughout this world, you can just see how much cooler Minecraft's terrain looks, especially the mountains. I think mountains with this data pack look so much cooler. For example, I'm up at Y279 right now. How often does that happen in default Minecraft? Honestly, Tectonic just makes the Minecraft world look so much cooler, and gives you more reasons to explore, to find some crazy brand new terrain. And this next data pack also adds reasons to explore, as I've added in the Dungeons and Taverns data pack, which, well, it adds dungeons and taverns into the game, as well as a ton of different structures. For example, here we have a tavern, which will spawn throughout your Minecraft world, spawning a couple of villagers, and having some really cool loot inside. Well, if having some hay bales and some decorated pots is very cool to you. But it's not just that, you'll also find a couple of maps inside, which give you locations to brand new structures, such as here we've got the Undead Crypt, or the Stray Fortress. Here's a couple more structures that have just appeared. We've got what looks like a watchtower here, and it does have some cool loot inside. And then we've got what looks like a pillager camp over here, which spawns with a few pillagers and a vindicator, and some decent loot. And here I found a very cool structure, the Undead Crypt. My favourite part of this data pack is the fact that it just gives you so many more reasons to explore, and to find more loot within your Minecraft worlds. But let me know down in the comments which one of these mods, texture packs, and data packs was your favourite. And make sure to subscribe, as I make videos like this all of the time. But thanks all so much for watching, make sure to subscribe, and thank you all so much for 6,000 subscribers. I died.